Namaste and welcome to Times Health Plus. We are here together to again have a good conversation regarding this new series of Heal Yourself Naturally with 4 lifestyle pillars. I am Ms. Vinita Sapkal, a senior nutritionist from the Yoga Institute and a yoga teacher, coming here to guide you on this lifestyle pillar number 2, which is stress. Okay, we are connected since long time and we were talking about multiple pillars which are responsible for our lifestyle, right? Number one was about sleep. Number two is we are talking about stress, and then the third is what's your hydration, and number four is about how you do certain physical activity and many more things, right? So let's talk about the second pillar, which is stress and your body. So now just tell me who experiences, uh, have you ever experienced the stress in your body, in your brain, in your regular lifestyle, and how do you feel when you are under stress? Let me know the. My voice is low, Krishna ji. Am I audible to everyone? Okay, am I audible to everyone? Just give me a little thumbs up on your comments, whether I'm audible or not. Okay, namaste to everyone. Welcome for this good session. Uh, some noise disturbance. Okay, fine. Let's proceed ahead. Things will get sorted. Let me just give you a brief understanding about what stress is going to what stress is, how it affects our body. There are multiple systems that are getting affected because of stress, and at the end, of course, a small practical tip I'll be giving you to manage the stress. And of course, which is our ritual, that is every week I give you a task. So the people who has always been connected with me since so many sessions, do you all remember what task I had been given to you in the last session? If yes, and if you have done it, please write it down in your comment section so that we can have a brief discussion about that too. Okay, my voice is low. आवाज साफ नहीं आ रही है. Okay, am I audible now? I'm trying to talk a little louder now. Okay, so let's proceed ahead with what stress is. Now, stress is somehow good for the body and somehow bad for the body. Tell me, till now, whenever you have experienced stress, how do you feel? चलो, write in your comment section, जब भी आपको stress आता है, आपको कैसे महसूस होता है? Write down in a comment section. Let's have a little brief conversation regarding the stress. Yeah, quickly. So our sessions are always about interaction. The more you will give me your inputs, I'll be able to help you out. So please write in the comment section that whenever you are under a stress, जब भी आप stress में होते हो, how do you feel? कैसे आप महसूस करते हो? क्या अलग feel होता है? So usually, let me tell you my experience. जब भी मैं stress में होती हूँ, मेरा कभी-कभी mood खराब हो जाता है, right? Sometimes I become little irritated. Sometimes I become little angry, right? Why these all things happen inside our body? Because one stress can change lot of things in our body, right? Because of which the mind is getting different, because of which the emotions are getting differently coming out of your body. Because of the simple stress, you don't know how to react in certain situation, how to solve these all issues. So in today's session, we are going to first learn what this stress is all about, whether it's good for the body or whether it's bad for the body. Okay, so stress is basically just a response, a body's response to your physical, to your mental, and your emotional pressure. Okay, physical pressure will be like in terms of certain accident or some, while playing something, you got certain thing like some injury that could create certain kind of stress in the body. Mental stress could be because if you have some examination to attend, if you have some emergencies, That kinds of mental stress has been experienced, your workloads, your deadlines. Emotional pressure could be anything like uh, if somebody is expecting from you and you're not meeting up that expectation, you feel little stress, right? So this sort of pressures which are being developed inside our body because of the different situations, that time your body responds to it in the form of a stress. Okay, now there are two types of stress. Okay, yes, Arunji says not able to concentrate on work. Absolutely, no focus. You feel uneasy. Dipshika ji says, yes, absolutely. Whenever we are under stress, immediately we feel very different from our regular lifestyle, right? So there are two types of stress. One is the acute sort of stress, and another is the chronic sort of stress. Now, what does this acute stress mean? Short term stress, if a body is responding to or a body is developing, it is acceptable by the body. Okay, because it's for shorter period, and that is somehow it's important also for the body. Because for example, if a deadline is being given to you to complete certain tasks, and if you don't take that deadline seriously, you won't be able to finish that work before time, right? And when the deadline comes, then you are under pressure, then everything goes on a toss, and then you have to somehow complete and give it before the deadline, right? So this small deadlines or the timelines that has been generated in our lifestyle is important to bring that minute stress in our body. Then and there only you will be able to do that task particularly, right? So short term acute stress is acceptable by the body because it comes for a short time and it just vanishes from our body. For example, during examinations, right? Whenever we go to give interviews or exams, how do we feel? We feel very anxious, right? Our hands, our palms, our feet get little cold. We get little butterflies in our stomach, right? So these are all like a short acute stresses. Now, number two is a chronic stress. What is this chronic stress? Which is a stress that stays in our body for longer time, whether for months, for years, and this it becomes like a part of your lifestyle. Then it will create an issue on our internal body systems. Okay, so chronic stress are basically when we constantly overthink about certain things. For example, overthinking about your job, overthinking about your career, your future. When these all things keep on happening constantly, then it leads to chronic stress. Okay, and then this is something which is like for a longer time, right? It's a long term thing. When body is under stress continuously, somehow it will start affecting the system, and then you will start seeing different diseases. Okay, can you just tell me, because of stress, what all diseases a person can get? You can write in the comment section. So whenever you face stress for longer time, what all are the diseases that a person gets? Right? हम लोग if you see in films many times, few people say कि stress के वजह से ये बीमारी हो गई. Because of stress, this person has suffered these things, right? So can you just relate that which are the disorders or which are the diseases that occurs because of stress? Yes, write in the comment section. Let me see how much you have been that mindful or you have noticed so much in anybody's lifestyle to understand that stress can also be one of the trigger for diseases. Yes, Arunji says diabetes, high blood pressure, heart attack, some yes. So these are actually good amount of examples that because of stress, every person deals with certain kind of diseases, and these diseases will not occur like immediately. It will occur because you're putting your body in chronic state since longer time. Okay, that's chronic stress since longer time. Okay, so we are surely going to learn that how this diabetes, how this blood pressure actually happens in the body in the further slides. Okay, so let's proceed ahead and understand कि stress होता कैसे है body में, how it actually starts in the body. So number one thing, जब भी a stress comes in your body, comes in your brain detects it's like a threat. Okay, when your brain detects this like a threat, The first signal goes to HPA axis. Okay, HPA axis is what? Your hypothalamus, your pituitary gland, and your adrenal gland. Adrenal gland कहाँ पे है? Pituitary gland. Okay, so all these three things are connected to each other. Okay, they are like a best friend, good channel with all the three things. So, जब भी your brain detects this threat, then it sends the signals to this HPA axis, and then from adrenal gland, cortisol will be released. Okay. Now, when this cortisol is released in the body, it is like an alarming hormone. Okay. What does this alarming hormone mean? For example, if there is a fire in a building, right? What happens when when this fire is being sensed by the alarm, smoke alarm detector, then the alarm starts ringing, right? So when this alarm starts ringing, we become little active and we start running for more and more, right? So what is happening? If there is one stress that has been developed, which is the fire in the building, because of that one stress, the signal has been sent to, because of that fire, the signal has been sent to that alarm, okay, and then alarm starts ringing, and then we become alert, and we go on to fight and flight mode. And that's how the cortisol is becoming higher and higher until unless we are not becoming calm. Okay, so if this alarm never stops and it keeps on increasing, and the alarm is ringing for longer time, what will happen? Your body, if you compare this scenario with our body, the cortisol will keep on building up, building up, building up, and that's how we have all health issues related to. Okay, so how stress starts in your body? Again, I'm telling you what brain detects it, sends the signals to HPA axis. From HPA axis, adrenal gland is the one which releases the cortisol, and when cortisol is released, then we become little alert, we become anxious, we become more alert to fight back. Okay, so this is the mechanism whenever stress is coming inside the body, whether it's a short stress or whether it's a chronic stress. Okay, let me see what's there in the comment section. Uh, Savitri G says mental and emotional disorders, anxiety disorders, excessive worry, panic attack, restlessness, depression, uh, not clear, not audible. Am I audible now? Okay. Let me just if I'm audible now. Am I audible now? Am I audible? Okay, quickly tell me whether I'm audible or not. Perfect. I'm audible to everybody now. So let's come back to the topic. There are comments in the section that says, Savitri ji, that mental, emotional disorder, anxiety disorder, excessive worry, and many more things that that happens. Okay. So now let's come back to the thing why these things usually happens, why we are emotionally down when we are in stress, why we are so much into multiple mood swings, why we face different kind of diseases. That all connection we will learn now in the next slide. Okay, so number one, let's talk about what's the direct connection of stress and cortisol. Now cortisol has got that one name that it's a stress hormone. Okay, whenever this cortisol is releasing in our body, it is important to keep us active to do certain tasks. Okay, but when it goes beyond the limit, then it's create an issue in the body. So what is the major role of this cortisol, why it is necessary in the body? Because it helps to regulate the metabolism. Okay, so what is metabolism? Pachan shakti. Okay, metabolism is the pachan shakti, which means whatever the food you are eating, it's getting well used to absorb the nutrients and the waste has been removed from the body. So to regulate this metabolism, cortisol is important. More energy is required, right? To control your inflammation on regular basis, we inhale a lot of pollution, bacteria, viruses, many more things goes inside our body, right? The poor food intake, junk food, everything, chemicals, preservatives, everything goes inside our body. So now it's our body's duty to release all these toxins from our body on regular basis, right? So to control that inflammation, even cortisol is important. Okay, number three, cortisol is the one which keeps your energy levels at state. So in your daytime, if you want to be productive, if you want to be active, your cortisol should be high. And at the night time, if you want to go to sleep at proper timing, your cortisol should go down. So you should always calm your body in the evenings. Okay, so that's how if this cortisol hormone, which is a stress hormone, is not well balanced, then it will start showing us all negative effects. Number one effect is the weight gain. And how the weight gain has been seen, specifically all this fat storage happens in the belly area. So you people must be experiencing where even though you're eating same amount of food all the 12 months of the year, still during stress time, when the days when you are super stressed because of so and so reason, that time, even if you eat that same amount, still your belly fat will start increasing or your weight will start increasing. Why this happens? Because that time the cortisol hormones were super high, because of which body sense that it's a danger, body is now in the danger. And to protect that body, or to protect that kind of scenarios, body starts to accumulate fat in your belly area. Why? Because maximum vital organs are sitting in your belly area. So therefore fat goes over there in terms of storage, just to protect that organs for multiple flight and fight mode. Okay, next is when cortisol is constantly high in your body, then it will start disturbing your sleep. Okay, how that will come to know later. Next, because of this high cortisol, again, mood swings and anxiety is also one thing that has been experienced into everyone's life. Okay, so now we need to know that what was the main culprit of these all issues. It's not that sometimes having poor intake or poor sleep. The major cause could be the stress also. If anybody's life is under a stress, then somehow you will start experiencing these all negative effects in your body. Okay, fine. Okay. Okay, someone says I'm under emotional stress for almost 3+ years. Okay, okay. So let's understand that when you are under a stress in so long years, that means your body is under cortisol, a high cortisol since longer time. That could affect everything: your digestion, your immunity, your mental health, your sleep, everything. Okay, so let's understand. Number one thing is the digestion. What is happening when the stress is high in your body, how it is affecting the digestion. Okay, now our gut and our brain is super connected with each other with the help of vagus nerve that is situated. Okay, so vagus nerve is like a messenger. If anything wrong goes in your brain, for example, if you are sad, you are angry, you are irritated, your mood swings are happening, that will affect your gut. Your gut won't be able to digest the food that effectively. Okay, why? Because what happens when there is high cortisol in the body, your digestion is something that is getting hampered. How? So basically, there is this brain chemical called as serotonin, which is the happy chemical, which keeps us very happy. But this chemical is not getting generated in your brain, it is getting generated in your gut. Okay, so gut good microbiomes are responsible to make this serotonin in our gut. Okay, now if your poor intake is there, if stress is high, somehow your good gut bacteria are getting killed and bad gut bacteria are becoming more. So when there is this bad gut bacteria percentage high, your serotonin chemical is not getting well produced, because of which you get all the negative thought process, you get all the negative emotions aggravated. Okay, for example, little anxious, being little depressive, being irritated, being sad often. Why these all things happens? Because of your poor intake, your good bacteria are not being generated, because of which serotonin is not getting generated. And when there is poor serotonin in the gut, then it will affect your mood swings. So whole energy where it is going to balance your brain, because of which the digestion is getting all hampered. Okay, when you are super your emotions are superly imbalanced, where you are super you can say sad or maybe angry or irritated, your energy is all focused over there. Your brain requires all the attention during such scenarios, and in this whole process your gut is getting compromised, and therefore your digestion goes on a toss. And when digestion becomes slow, then you will start getting all the issues like bloating, constipation, frequent motions, clearing motions like diarrhea, and many more things. Okay, so usually when gut microbiome is affected because of poor intake and lack of serotonin, even your immunity is not getting properly formed. Your immune system, 90% of your immunity is also sitting in your gut. So if gut is on a toss, then somehow immunity is not in the right check, and therefore it affects our mood also. Okay, so somehow it everything is just connected with each other. Your brain is connected with gut, gut is connected to immunity. So anything happens more aggressively in these three connections, your body will start showing the signs. Okay, fine. Niloji says, feels very sleepy. I sleep a lot and I think my brain isn't very active. I can't focus on my studies and I can't remember things. Absolutely. So this Niloji, this stage has come because somehow our body has got that habit that I want to be in that comfort zone. Okay, so to come out of that comfort zone or to change this habit or to change the scenarios, you need to give your mind certain task, certain work. Okay, always divert your mind during such scenarios. Whenever you feel sleepy, take some action that will make you little alert. Okay, learn something new during certain times, or practice something or exercise where you will release more of cortisols. Okay, so that time you will become alert and therefore you will not feel sleepy during your daytime. Okay, little 30-minute nap is absolutely acceptable because if there is a poor sleep at night time. But if your sleep was like sufficient, good 7 to 8 hours with the right timing, still you feel sleepy in the morning, then it means your body has undergone a habit of finding that comfort zone. So to come out of that, you need to make yourself a little active. Okay, we'll understand that in further slides also. Fine. Now we always say when there is a lot of stress, we gain the weight, right? Uh, Suddenly there is a weight gain, and then we become more alert that how this happened. Even though you eating the same food since longer time, still how you gain so much of weight so immediately, so rapidly. So what happens is during the stress, your body in your body requires a lot of attention in terms of energy. Okay, so when your brain is under a stress, a lot of energy is being used up to balance that cortisol levels, right? So during that time, since attention is in the brain, all the blood circulation is going to your brain and to your muscles compared to your stomach and your intestine. Okay, why? Because during stress we are we are so anxious that even your heartbeat starts beating fast, right? You feel like, what should I do, what how can I manage this situation? You become panic, right? So during that time, your blood circulation is going towards the brain and your muscles more, to become little alert to fight back that situation, right? Since the focus has been diverted to other areas, your stomach and your intestine is not getting that amount of blood flow, because of which the digestion is getting poor. And then when your body requires an energy to function all other systems, that time your body will ask for instant energy, right? So what happens when we constantly keep off overthinking, some or the other time our systems will become tired, right? So when we become tired internally, then your body will ask for instant energy to make it more energetic. So what is the best instant energy your body will ask for? Is for a comfort zone, for a comfort food. And comfort food comes from high caloric food, right? So high caloric food, when you start consuming, for example, sugars, anything that has high sugars, anything that has high salt inside it, like namkeen snacks, or anything which is fatty in nature, these are the categories which gives us instant energy in our body. Okay, so what happens during this time, that you end up having this sort of meals more vigorously, just to change your focus from stress to make yourself bit calm and happy, right? So during these scenarios, you will see you are experiencing your appetite has increased rapidly and you're craving for certain instant energies. And since after this instant energy consumption, we are not doing any physical work, we end up going on a couch and we sit for longer hours, or we go to desk and we do our work by sitting, by becoming sedentary. Therefore, when this energies are not getting used up, this energy will go into a storage, and that storage is a fat storage, majorly in the abdomen, because we are constantly sitting, right? When we are under stress, when we are binge eating, what is happening? Either a screen is on, we Netflix and we chill, or we do something with less activity where we just want to sit and chill, okay, and relax, or maybe a desk work you want to do, which is making not you that amount of, mobilization is not happening that much. So somehow this fat will get stored in the abdomen, and it will reduce the motivation to exercise, because now you are in your comfort zone, you feel relaxed, you feel happy that I've eaten it, I want to just go in that comfort zone, I don't feel like eating anything else, I don't feel like doing anything, any exercise, right? So this is like a cycle, this is like a vicious cycle which becomes very difficult for us to identify and come out of it. Okay, when this cycle keeps on happening for longer time, for 6 months or for a year, and when you hit that, high stage of weight, maybe overweight or obesity, then we become alert. Now it's a right, now it's a time to focus on the weight and, reduce the weight. But instead of reaching to that state, it's important that we become little mindful and understand that why this eating pattern has increased, why I'm craving for these high sugary, high fat kind of foods, because somehow stress is the one which is triggering to it. Okay, so to balance this intake, first of all, you have to balance your stress, you have to work on the situations that are making you stressful, find solutions for certain scenarios to balance it out, right? So that's how you can start with very minimal thing. For example, not keeping any unhealthy options in the house itself, or not listening to your senses. For example, not watching any advertisement that will make you crave, or not opening and watching Swiggy, Zomato constantly, that which will make you crave, or not stuffing your house with all the unhealthy products, which will somehow you remember that I have this in my house, I have to finish it out somehow, so let me eat it. So when these all scenarios are minus from your routine, somehow you'll be able to balance your weight that has increased because of high stress. Okay, so this is how it affects our weight. Okay. Jagdeep ji says, what's the best diet do's and don'ts to reduce fatty liver? Okay, fatty liver is a condition which usually happens because of constant intake of high fat foods, high sugary foods, uh, even high salty foods, and that too with less physical activity. Then it keeps on adding the fat storage, increase the cholesterol in the body, and the cholesterol is getting stored in the liver, and somehow liver is unable to, balance that amount of cholesterol and convert it into biles, which somehow leads to fatty liver. So it is all an inflamed condition, your liver has inflamed because of high cholesterol now. So during such thing, one is cut down all the sugary items. Sugary item doesn't means that only the table sugar that we add into chai and other recipes. Sugary items also comes from hidden sugars. So the packet products that we consume, if you turn it, it will mention the different names of sugars, like high fructose corn syrup, invert sugar, glucose syrup, maltose, dextrose, sucralose, aspartame. Then there will be preservatives which are of sodium rich. These all are the triggers for our inflammation in the body. These are all toxins basically. They are not going to help for our body. Any chemical name which you are not familiar with, these are all toxins for our body. Okay, alcohol is one of the trigger for this fatty liver issue, right? So it's important that you focus on more natural sources, go for more products or which are very close to nature, whole grains, fruits, vegetables, eating more of these during snack times. This will really help to balance your fatty liver.
Fine. Okay, let's proceed ahead with the mental health. Now we have also experienced that whenever we are under a stress, our mental state goes on a toss, right? When there's a chronic stress, automatically anxiety, irritability, depression, these all things are being experienced. Now, how and why? So what happens, as I said before, your brain and your gut is directly connected, right? And the happy chemical or happy hormone, we can say, that is serotonin, that has been made up in the gut. So for example, when there is high stress in the body, somehow this gut microbiomes are going for a toss, and the serotonin is not being built up properly. So when there is no good happy hormone that is released inside your body, what your body will start experiencing, all the sadness, all the irritability, all the negative emotions, okay, because serotonins are not being properly released in the gut. Okay, and that's how, when there is this constant technique that is happening for a longer time, for a longer ages, somehow this simple stress converts into chronic stress, and it affects our brain's functioning. So the focus is gone for a toss, we are unable to focus on anything, your memory will become little poor, you won't be able to remember the previous day data, even decision making power becomes little frightening for us. Why these all things happen? Because somehow your food intake is, first of all, not good. Secondly, your body, when it senses too much of stress, it's not producing right chemicals in your body. So the brain chemicals like serotonin, dopamine is not getting properly produced when there is high cortisol for longer time. Okay, and then to find this coping mechanism, somehow we find emotional, you can say, sympathy, or you feel pity towards yourself, and that's how you become more depressive sort of person in long run. Okay, so to prevent these all stages, it's important to work on your stress right in the first time, in the first stages. Okay, but for that also you require to be more mindful, and mindfulness will only happen when you be in present and not in past nor in future. We are a humans are, or we have a tendency of always thinking about either what happened in past or what will happen next. So instead of being worried about past and future, focus on present, how you can make your present life better so that your future will be better, right? Because we have not seen future, we don't know what will come ahead, so it's better you focus on now. Then and then only you will be able to get a better future, right? So in this mental health specifically, if we talk about, it's important that we focus on how we deal with such situations, or how we deal with eating right during stressful times. Because if you are eating right type of food or well balanced meal, whether it's a simple dal chawal or simple sabji roti or anything, but it's homemade, it's something which is closest to the nature, which is something which is very freshly made, then somehow it will help to release good hormones or good brain chemicals in your gut, and your stress will go down. Okay, have you experienced one thing, that whenever we are under stress, we always go to we never go to foods like dal chawal or khichdi to calm ourselves down. We always go to chocolates or ice creams or some sort of chips or some namkeens, or maybe junk foods like pizzas and burgers. Why this happens? Why usually we go to this sort of foods? Because somehow we have related that comfort zone more into these all sort of recipes since childhood. And when that memory is being stored in your brain, so during the stressful situation, to shift your emotions, brain will recollect that emotion or that scenarios which had made you happy, right? And that's the reason we will more go towards the unhealthy food options during such scenarios. But if we create a new habit in which whenever you are under stress, you will eat clean, you will eat homemade meals, you will eat fruits, you will eat nuts and seeds. When you create this new habit, then somehow whenever you are under stress, you will be alert and you will react accordingly, and you will choose only that sort of foods. Again, it's how we mechanize our body for longer time. Anything that you do for short period of time will come and vanish with immediately. right? But whatever you do for longer time with a good discipline and consistency, somehow it will create a good impact on your body and your choices. Okay, fine. Okay, Neeluji has one query. I am unable to recognize smells or fragrances. I can't tell the difference. So, is this a disease or what should I do? Um, you can check this with a proper doctor to understand if there is a fever, chill, any flu. That is the issue which is creating this sort of things. There are multiple health issues like a chronic issues which affects the smell and fragrance also called estrogen syndrome. But to to reach that conclusion, it's better you first ask your doctor, take a good consultation, and see what is the root cause of these things. Because if suddenly you are not feeling the smell and fragrances, or you're not getting good taste buds, then somehow there could be a chance of having some sort of flu inside your body. Okay. Secondly, Jagdeep ji says the medicines taken to reduce LD cholesterol also drive cholesterol into the liver. Okay, so yeah, mostly what happens in cholesterol, so the body, whatever we consume, uh, that food, that fat is getting converted into cholesterol, and it naturally gets stored in the liver, and liver converts that cholesterol into bile salts or bile juices, and it goes into gallbladder. And so whenever the fats are coming in our body in terms of food, this bile is being used to metabolize all the fats, which is LDL, VLDL, multiple types of fats that has been generated inside the body. But if we keep on loading lot of food, and the cholesterol keeps on increasing, somehow then mechanism is getting disturbed, because then it's creating a lot of load on our body. So when a medicine has been given to balance this cholesterol, that time it's helping to first of all convert that cholesterol immediately into biles, and uh, again it helps to even release the cholesterol from wherever it is accumulated in your arteries, your blood streams, so that released cholesterol is going to the liver, and that's how this this liver is again converting that cholesterol and converting into biles. So this is how mechanism keeps on happening. But along with this, if you do good amount of exercise, if you eat clean, then this excess will get used up in the form of energy, and your cholesterol will be within range. Okay. But if there is no activity, there is no change in the diet, and you're just taking medicines just to balance things, then somehow body won't be able to process accordingly, and things will be still accumulated in the body. Okay, fine. Jagdeep ji, fine. Okay. Ashok ji says, which food you suggest in case of sarcopenia in case of 70-year-old person not able to balance while standing? Okay, firstly, it's in terms of sarcopenia. Sarcopenia is basically where your muscles are getting wasted. The strength, the intensity of your bone is getting ruptured. So during such scenarios, proteins, calcium, vitamin D, these are all magnesium. These are all responsible to bring your muscles in check. Okay, so try to make sure that your every meal has good amount of proteins into your diet. Make sure you take good sunlight to make sure you get good vitamin D, so that the calcium that you're consuming through food is getting well absorbed. And along with that, magnesium is also equally important, and even vitamin K is also equally important. So all these things work together to build up the calcium in your body and store in your bones accurately. Okay, so that your bone health will become more healthy. Again, age is also one of the factor which hinders the mechanism. And even though if you follow everything, but to bring that convergence in your body becomes little slow because of age also. So keep exercising minutely as much as possible, and incorporate these all vitamins, minerals, and proteins which I have mentioned. You will see a good change in your sarcopenia. Okay, fine. Okay. Shobharani ji says, how to reduce triglyceride, which food is good for increasing the LDL, HDL. Okay, fine. So we are actually going off the topic, but I'll give you very quick solution for this thing. Is if anybody who has cholesterol issues, whether it's LDL cholesterol, VLDL cholesterol, or total cholesterol that has gone high, number one thing you have to keep check on your oils, your fats, uh, the nuts and seeds that you're consuming on regular basis, and your type of products that you're consuming on regular basis. Okay, it's not something that only fatty items will lead to triglyceride. If there is too much amount of sugars also in consumption, the sugars are getting converted into fat storages because of our poor lifestyle, because of our sedentary lifestyle. No physical activity to use that energy, therefore that energy is getting stored in the form of fats. So sugar is also one of the culprit to build up fat in the body. Even sodium is the culprit to build up fat in the body, because somehow it starts water retention in your body, and you will feel fatigue and tired, and in that process the brain is not functioning that accurately, and we feel like craving some certain things, right? So apart from that, I would say if your diet is lacking with fibers, even then it will lead to accumulation of cholesterol, because fiber is the only one which binds with cholesterol and removes cholesterol from the body. So there are multiple other things. We literally have to sit and understand your lifestyle to give you proper tips. But these are the small things that you can look into for now. Okay, and add some physical activity. Okay, so let's proceed ahead with the PPT, and then we'll come back to the Q&As. So we were at how to recognize now stress signals. Now this is one of the important factor. Uh, we all know that everyone undergoes a stress, but we cannot say that you are a person that you undergoing anxiety, or you are a person who is undergoing depression, until and unless you are not understanding the definition of it. Anxiety, depression, panic attacks, or schizophrenia, these all mental issues are like a big terms, and this you can claim to yourself only and only when you are under a stress for longer years. So anybody cannot just say that I'm having anxiety issue, I'm having a depression issue, until and unless you are under that heavy stress for longer ages. Okay, so to understand the stress signals that might end up into chronic state, number one is a physical state. So firstly, just understand physically what is going wrong in your body. If you are having constant headache, if you feel constant fatigue, if there is a muscle tension. What do you mean by muscle tension? You feel like there is muscle soreness, you feel like you are unable to do certain activity on regular basis, that means your body is under a stress. Okay, number two, look into your emotional sector. If you feel irritated all the time, if there is emotional imbalance all the time, you are getting suddenly angry, suddenly sad, suddenly feels like crying, or suddenly yell at somebody, when there is a sudden shift in your emotions, that means your stress is something that is triggering you. Number three is behavioral pattern. If there is constant overeating, right? So for example, you are eating very nicely throughout your 24/7, but there will be days when there is too much of stress in your life, and that time sc- immediately, or you can say without any indication, you feel like taking extra servings. So overeating is happening, and this gradual overeating somehow will lead to eat wrong items at wrong time, so cravings will start developing. So social withdrawal, you will not feel like going into social scenario situations where you don't feel like going and talking to somebody. You just make yourself isolated, and you like to be only along with you. That means there is something that stress is bothering your body. And procrastination, when you are not able to do that task and in that particular day, you'll shift that task in your next day, and next task will be shifted to another day. So when this procrastination is happening, that means somehow you are not accepting the situation, somehow you are not able to deal that situation, and that only happens when your focus is all gone for a toss, and that focus goes for a toss only because when there is high stress in the body. Okay, so these are the, you can say, signs to understand whether your body is under a stress or not. When you sense this, then it means it's time to take some action. Okay, so when you sense these all things, how you can take action? Number one, always focus on your lifestyle betterment. Okay, so start with your mornings with some sunlight exposure. because when vitamin D goes inside your body, this vitamin D makes you little active. It makes you feel more energetic, right? So sunlight exposure is something which is important. Some mild exercise to start your day with is also necessary, because that makes you feel alert. It releases all the toxins from the body. It makes you feel light, and therefore you are able to focus more in the daytime to do your certain task. So light exercise is something which is important, and your breakfast should must have proteins, because what does this protein do? Number one, it makes your muscles stronger. Number two, it fills your stomach for longer to keep your stomach little filled for good 3 to 4 hours, and right after 3 to 4 hours you will get the hunger for your lunch. Okay, so that's the reason in breakfast protein is must. If protein is missing, somehow within 1 or 2 hours you will crave something to eat, and your focus will go for a toss. You won't be able to concentrate on your task, right? So when your stomach is filled, when your body is energetic, you will be able to bring that concentration, bring that focus while doing certain tasks in the daytime, right? So for that's the reason, to balance this cholesterol in the morning, your sunlight exposure is must. Some light exercise you can introduce. Just stretching is also fine, like going for a brisk walk, or stretching your hands, rotating your necks, rotating your shoulders. Simple stretches is also something which will help you a lot to make you feel light and energetic. And protein breakfast. Then throughout the day, make sure you take short breaks. If you don't give break to your brain, somehow you will become so irritated and agitated that so much task you have to do in a day, and therefore you will procrastinate. It's not happening today, forget it, put it on the next day. That kind of behavioral pattern will start. So better you take short breaks in between after every 2 hourly, whether it's a washroom break, or whether it's some light stretches you want to do, or you can just stand up from your desk and do a normal walk and come back and sit, or you can go and drink some water and come, but short breaks in a day is must. Next is mindful breathing. Whenever there is a scenario where you feel that you are very agitated, little anger is there, you feel like yelling on somebody, always before acting on something or giving some reactions, if you do a very mild breathing technique also, like equalizing your breath, it will immediately calm your nervous system. From your sympathetic nervous system, your parasympathetic nervous system will get activated, and somehow you will feel little relaxed, and then you will be able to react more calmly and more maturely. Okay. And number 3 is hydration. If water is lacking in your diet, somehow body will feel tired, it will feel lack of energy, and during that time, to become energetic instantly, we go and crave for sugary items or salty items or fatty items, because they are the high calorie food which gives us instant energy, right? So that's the reason hydration is must. So whenever you get the craving, first thing is drink your water and wait for 10 to 15 minutes. Automatically you will feel that my hunger has gone, my craving has gone. Okay, after 10 to 15, this is how you can balance the cravings, because we say every 4 hour consumption is sufficient for the body. So if you craving in between these 4 hours, then somehow you are not well hydrated. Okay. Number 3 is, while winding down your day, always go for digital detox. What does this means? No screen time before 1 hour of your sleep. Always make sure you maintain a good gap between your dinner and sleep, and your digital time and your sleep. 1 hour gap is sufficient to detox your body and relax your body and make your body to release more melatonin, so that the sleep has been promoted. Okay. Find some relaxing routine at night time to bring all the worries out, either a journaling, doing meditation, doing prayers, whatever you feel that will calm yourself, that will make you forget all the worries. Those all kind of relaxing routines can be added at the night time. Or a simple yoga nidra or shavasana is something that you can do on regular basis before you go to bed. Okay. Avoid late caffeine. That means post 2 p.m. you should never consume anything that is caffeinated. No caffeine beverages, no chocolates, no um, no energy drinks, nothing which contains caffeine should be consumed post 2 p.m. If that has happened, somehow your sleep cycle will get affected. Okay, fine. So yeah, so let's see what more questions have come in the comment section. For today it was all about what was stress, uh, how stress affects our different systems, and a small tip I have given that you can practice on daily basis to balance the cortisol. Now in the next session when you will come, we are going to understand different tools, practical tools to manage this stress. Okay, whether it's some physical tool, emotional tool, behavioral tool, whatever it is, every solution for this scenarios will be given in the next session. So I will appreciate if you all come in the next session also to understand the dots between this session and that session. Okay, so you'll get the answers for whatever we have learned today in the next session. So stay tuned. Do not forget to follow us on the social media platforms, and the task for today that is been given to you all is a very interesting task, because this will make you become more alert. It will be like an eye opening thing to look towards your lifestyle and understand how your body is reacting. So what is the task for this week is about mindfulness. In this task, what you have to do, you have to just spend 5 to 10 minutes before you go to bed. Okay, each day you have to make sure at least 5 to 10 minutes you can give time to your deep breathing or any mindfulness practices. Note down your stress triggers along with how your body is reacting to it. For example, if in the office some task was given to you but you were unable to do it, or the deadlines are meeting too early and you are becoming panic, write it down that this was the scenario and I became stressful, and how you reacted on that situation. You have to write down that response, you have to write down, and then keep a track of your uh, change in your sleep, your digestion, mood because of the scenarios. And complete 1 week you just have to focus on these triggers and see how your body is reacting and what its effect on the body. And at the end, the patterns you can spot that because of these things I crave a lot, because of this thing I am unable to react properly, or anger is being created. So what you can do is you have to find solution. Once you get to know your patterns, your triggers, then we can fix the solution on it, how we can overcome these triggers. And this solution you will surely get in the next session. But for now, first just analyze what stress or trigger is making you react in certain way and how it is affecting your body, whether for a sleep, digestion, or mood. Whatever it is, you just have to mention in a diary, and then we can discuss about this in the next session. Okay, so now let's get open to for our Q&A session. Okay, so there are multiple questions. Neelu ji says, and okay, that is twin question answered. Ashok ji says, which food you suggest in case of sarcopenia, which I have been answered earlier. Yeah. Next is Uttam ji says, suggest food and others for ulcerative colitis case. Okay. Now, ulcerative colitis is a very extreme stage where in a colon, a lot of inflammation has happened. It's more of ulcers that has happened. So it's a very critical case in which the nutritional management is very different. Okay. For that, first I need to understand your complete lifestyle, your eating patterns, your current age, your past lifestyle, how was your intake, how is your working lifestyle, everything. Then only I can give you very brief understanding about the diet that is required in this UC. But for now, just I can just tell you, look into foods which are anti-inflammatory to reduce this inflammation. Number one is hydrate very well. Okay, 3 liters of water every day is must. Number two is look for the food which are very cooling, like sabja seeds or gond katira, barley water. These are very cooling for the body. Having something like pudina, coriander, chutneys without any spice, uh, which is very cooling for the body. Adding more of jeera, fennel seeds into your diet in the form of infused water will also help you to cool your body, because it's a heat that has been generated in the colon. Number two, avoid all the spices. during this scenarios. Number three is make sure anti-inflammatories like turmeric with black pepper, pinch of black pepper. This concoction will help you a lot. Make sure you add more of vegetables, more of fruits into your diet, which will help to bring this inflammation diet down. Okay, so these all things currently you can focus upon. Rest, if you want a proper consultation, you can always come to us. We have a clinic over here, so you can connect to us and we can guide you accordingly. Okay, fine. Okay, next question says best simple techniques or to follow cortisol levels and feel good. Okay, simple techniques to reduce the cortisol levels instantly is to divert your mind. Whenever you experience there is a stress that is changing your emotions, that is changing all your patterns, your food intake and everything, always divert your mind into some activity. Okay, this is like a best thing that we can do. So for example, since if you are angry, if you agitated, what best you can do is look for the hobbies that calms you down. Do something that makes you happy. If you don't have any hobbies, then look for some videos that will motivate you, or writing down all your emotions on a paper so you'll feel little relaxed, all the energies have been released, so that you get clear picture that now how I have to react on that scenario. Or you can either do some exercise during certain scenarios, whether it's a light exercise or a vigorous exercise, but exercise releases all the stress, it releases all the toxins from the body, which make you feel more energetic and alert. Okay, so apart from that, you can, if you love cooking, do some new recipe which will divert the mind. But when we give work to the mind, work to the brain during such scenarios, that which makes you happy, that will always sidetrack the worries that was bothering you. Okay, so this you can try for now. Okay, what is the most protein rich food for breakfast as you suggested for vegetarian? Okay, so there are multiple amount of protein rich foods. For example, poha with sprouts, upma with moong dal, added moong dal in it with good vegetables also. You can have paneer paratha, you can have matar parathas, you can have green moong chilas, you can have besan oats chila, you can have oatmeal in which high protein milk is being added. You can have something which is made from soybean like sattu flour paratha, or soybean paratha, something like that. Okay, so these are like the healthy versions of breakfast that you can introduce. Okay. Okay, one says how to lower the cortisol level instantly and also to get over anxiety and panic attacks. Okay, so whenever you get the panic attack or anxiety, first thing is to calm down the emotion that has aggravated. Okay, so for that, first of all, always take 1 glass of water, room temperature water, sit for a while, keep your eyes closed and start doing deep breathing. Okay, so just simple 3 counts of inhalation, 3 counts of exhalation from your mouth. Inhale from from nose and exhale from your mouth. So when you do this equal breathing patterns, automatically you are activating the parasympathetic nervous system, which makes you feel little calmer. Once you are slightly calm, then start putting up of all the things that were bothering you on a paper. Release all the energy, release everything. If you don't want to write anything, in a mirror you can self talk. That will also help you a lot. Or if there is a person who really understands you very well, speak it out. Because until and unless you don't bring things out of your body, out of your mind, you won't be able to feel relaxed and calm. Okay, things should come out of the brain and the body. Okay, these are the things that you can try for now to balance certain scenarios. Okay, fine. um, Umesh ji says food that can help in flushing gallbladder stones. Okay, so of course there is nothing where the gallbladder stones will release and the stones will get vanished. It is only the way which helps to balance the stones is to maintain your fat intake. Fats can be stored from multiple sources. Sugars, majorly sugars. Number two, any oily foods. or any fatty food. Even foods made from maida will, refined flours will always become fatty for our body because it takes longer time for a body to digest it. So when the energies is going so much, it goes into storage. Again, the maida products are always deep fried or shallow fried, so somehow that is becoming fatty for our body. So if you control your fat intake, automatically your gallstones will also be in under control. Okay, and if the stones are too much, then the only ultimate is the cholecystectomy that people usually do. Okay, so currently you can just focus on adding more of vegetables, because more the fiber goes, the cholesterol will bind with the fiber and it will come out of your body, it will not form stones. Okay, that cholesterol, that bile need to be used up so that the stones are not getting formed. Okay, so eating less is not the option, eating right with the right proportion at the right time is the solution. Okay, fine. So let's proceed ahead. Uttam ji says, ma'am, I want to take appointment for your clinic. Kindly help me out. Absolutely fine, Uttam ji. You can look into Nutri Diet Clinic in the Yoga Institute website. There you can call us. The numbers and everything is there on the website, and we can connect accordingly. Okay. Again, Sunday the clinic is closed. Monday to Saturday we work from 10 to 6 p.m. Okay, let's proceed ahead. Nidhi ji says, thank you, Vanita ji, for the informative and useful session. Thank you so much. I'm glad that everyone liked the topic that I'm trying to bring up in front of everyone, because these are the small things that we often ignore. Sleep, stress, that we think it's okay, it's a part of life, so let it go. But ideally, we should focus on this minute things also, because they are the major pillar of our lifestyle. Okay, diet is one part, but these are all other pillars which helps to bring our lifestyle in right balance. Okay, so focusing into the small things is very important. uh, okay, Kirti ji says, how to sleep better like baby. Okay, so I would say, to sleep better, first of all we have to be very very strict with ourselves, that whatever happens, whether it's a festival, whether it's any occasion, whether it's wedding that you have to attend, whatever it is, if you consistently sleep at one time only and get up right after 7 to 8 hours, then you will feel that your body is in right balance. The right time to sleep is 10:30, because from 10 o'clock till 2 a.m. your liver is active to detoxify your body. And this detoxification will only happen when you go in the dormant state. So if you're not sleeping by 10:30 or 11ish, then somehow you're delaying the cycle of all this detoxification, which will not happen that appropriately if you sleep late. Okay, so healing that requires during the sleep time, if that has been delayed, then somehow even after sleeping late and for good 7 to 8 hours, you will not feel fresh in the morning, you will still feel fatigued. So it's mandatory to sleep by 10:30 anyhow, max is 11. If you follow this on weekends also and certain situations also, then you will really feel that you're sleeping like a baby. Okay, fine. Let's see next. Lataji says, I eat healthy food with lot of veggies and salads, still I don't get my stomach clear at the first time. Okay, so there are multiple other things that comes into consideration. If your water intake is poor, if stress is not well balanced, if sleep is not proper, if you're not sleeping in this designated timelines consistently, then also your gut is getting compromised in digesting the food. Okay, so these are also parameters equally important. Apart from just fiber is not going to help to make your motions normal, you have to make sure you add good amount of proteins also into your diet. Okay, so if every breakfast, lunch, dinner is happening at the right time, with right intervals, with right proportion, then you will surely get a good result. Okay, fine. So this was for today. We have discussed a lot of things regarding stress that really helps to balance your all the systems. In the next session we'll come again, we'll talk about stress only, but with more practical knowledge and tips. Okay, for now, just eat with awareness and be healthy, take care, and have a very good and wonderful weekend. Okay, namaste.